Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel here at Creators Call Shop on YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made these decorative strips for decorating the pages of my journals. So grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a comfy chair, and maybe even a snack. We'll be back in just a minute and I'll show you how I made these. Okay, and welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how I made these strips. Now the idea was inspired by several different videos that I've seen where people make the decorative edge strips to go on the pages of their journals, and I've seen them done in different ways, but the one that really kind of caught my interest was where it was made with vintage postage stamps. So I don't have really a collection of vintage postage stamps to do that with, and so I set about trying to create something similar. What I do have are these. I'll show you. These are actually, I have these on sale in my shop, but these are 2-inch and 1.5-inch squares that have been pre-cut. And the other thing that I do have are the decorative edge scissors. See if I can get these. And then I have rubber stamps that I used, and I did some playing around, and this is what I came up with. So my idea was, my thought process was to use these to decorate the edges of a journal page, like so. And in order to do that, I just kind of came up with something that looks like a stamp without it actually being a stamp. So how did I do this? All right, let me take a seat and then I will show you what I did. Okay, so what I did was I started with some of the scraps of paper that I have that were cut-offs from the pages that I've already trimmed. And then, like I said, I was using my decorative edge scissors. So I'm going to offer you some alternatives because I actually have the Fiskars edgers that look like a postage stamp, but I realize that not everybody may have that. So here's another solution. The mini pinking shears that give it the mini edge will also give it that kind of a look of a stamp. And if you don't have the mini ones, just use regular pinking shears. And if you don't have regular pinking shears, I'm also going to play around a little bit with a Deckle edge. And if you don't have even a Deckle edge, just a torn edge will do. So I do happen to have a tear ruler here that was specifically made to kind of give it that Deckle edge, but just any straight edge and just line it up along your paper and tear, and you'll get kind of the same look. So lots of options in how to get kind of an old-fashioned, old-timey stamp look, but I'm going to start with the ones with the postage stamp edge. I'll show you a few examples that I've already done. Let's see if I can get the right ones here. Okay. Okay. So here's some examples of ones that I have made using the stamp edge, the postage stamp edge, and then I used rubber stamps, and then I just drew the lines around the edge, and it's kind of rough drawn, which is fine. I just think it gives it a little bit more of that rustic look. This is a stamp that actually looks like a postage stamp. This one is one that I had a ticket stamp, and so I cut it more to look like a ticket. So it has two straight edges, and then I used the perforated postage stamp edge to make the side so it looks like a perforated ticket. And this one is one I made with the mini zigzag, the mini pinking shears. This is one I made with the larger regular size pinking shear, and this one as well. And then let me see if I have one with the Deckle. I know I do, I just gotta find it. Anyway, we'll make some with the Deckle edge as well, and I'll show you what those look like. So I was wanting to go with a color palette that matches the papers in these journals. Okay, so I've started out cutting up scraps of paper from my leftovers after I trimmed the papers down. So that's what I've done. So we have all kinds of colors to play with, and then I went through my scraps. I went through some of those little pre-cut squares and I cut a few more. And so what I've started out with is kind of a stamp shape. So I played around with a few different things. I don't know if you can tell or not, but on this one I did not edge the base squares. But on this one I did, and I think it just gives it a little more of that postage stamp feel. So we're just gonna start and see what we come up with. I'll lay those aside. So the first thing you need is a base, and it doesn't really matter what it looks like because it's going to get covered up anyway. So these are just more cut off strips that I have from doing the hinges and things for these journals. Okay. And then the first thing I did was I just picked some colors that I liked and started trimming them down into roughly a postage stamp shape. So the old-timey stamps, some of them were bigger sized ones, some of them were smaller 1-inch size, and so I'm just kind of going with the moment, however I feel like doing it. So I'm going to do one of these with the postage stamp edge, one with a deckle edge, and one with a regular zigzag edge so that you can kind of see the differences. So let's see, I have some I pre-cut here. That one's a postage stamp. That one's a postage stamp. And I just wanted to show you what the 3 different ways look like. If you don't want to go ahead and decorate up like the postage stamp looking pieces, you certainly don't have to. So we're just going to play with a lot of different ideas and just see what we come up with. I don't have any real entertaining stories to tell you or anything. I do have to say, one thing I've discovered is that making these videos is a little bit like doing 4-H. I don't know how many of you may have taken 4-H when you were younger, but it's kind of like doing demonstrations. And I want some different sizes back there. And you want rectangles, you want squares, you want something that mimics the postage stamp shape as much as you can, like the old time postage stamps. I like these because these are double-sided right here. I'm kind of cutting off to the side where I have room for the scraps to land. See, that side's green, and I just kind of like it like this with these pretty colors, but I don't want this pattern matched up with that pattern because they're variations of the same one. So I want a little bit of disparity between the two. Let's see, who else have I got? Oh yeah, I have a little pile of, right here, I've got this little pile too I can work with. So let me grab one out of there. This one is a scrap, and it has kind of the look and feel of an old time stamp. There's a piece of a dragonfly wing and the script. So this will be perfect for mimicking an old-fashioned stamp kind of look. At the same time, like I said, I want them to be kind of light-hearted and whimsical and bright to actually match. Let's see, let's cut some of these off. To actually match the style of these books. There we go. Now we're cooking. So what I do is I just kind of cut out some shapes and then lay them on the strips and see what I like. See how it turns out. And I think I want another kind of rectangle-y shape. Okay. Get that scrap. Okay, so I have my basics. Now I'm thinking that these two would be great to stamp on to look like a postal stamp. And we'll just, so that one probably. And then I will just lay these down. I think I want another bigger one behind there, something big and bold. hopeful that I am in frame. Did I finish my thought earlier? I was trying to say, this reminds me of when I took 4-H, if any of the rest of you took 4-H, and when we had to do demonstrations of how to do different things. So for the life of me, I don't remember what all my demonstrations were about, but I do remember one gal who showed us how to measure, the different ways to measure, and measuring a 1 cup. Here's an extra scrap I'd like to grab that I have just sitting over here. I just want some more color in here. It's just looking kind of ho-hummy to me. So I'm just going to cut this to a size that seems like a reasonable postage stamp size. And I need something a little bit bigger, so it'll be bigger. What I like about these postage stamp scissors is that they kind of go both directions. So no matter which way you cut with them, you get that perforated look on your paper. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I should just start by saying, the name of today's demonstration is how to make a postage stamp strip without actual postage stamps. There you go. Okay, so I just lay them on here and kind of get them arranged how I like. And then I turn these guys, let's see, who do I want to go on top? And the ones that I want to lay on top will be the ones that I turn more into a postage stamp kind of look. Okay, so let's make this more of a rectangular portrait shape. Ta-da! There we go. That looks good. Much better. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is choose some stamps. Now I got a selection of stamps that are more lighthearted and whimsical again. And what I wound up with were a lot of butterflies. I didn't know I had so many butterfly stamps, but that's what I have to play around with here. So here's just some examples of some. And then what I do is kind of match up the stamp to the size of the square. So obviously this one's too big, but I definitely want to use him on one of them. And so you guys are going to be my actual postage stamps. So let's see what we got here that we can do. Let's see, do you fit? Sometimes just putting a nice image on top of an existing pattern there just kind of brings it all together, makes it look like you worked really hard to get that vintage look, even though you probably didn't. So I'm probably going to do you right here, and I guess I'm going to have a lot of butterflies on this one because they all fit. Maybe not. I like this whimsical butterfly. Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to trust that you fit there. I'm getting ink on there, and I don't really want that there quite yet. So I'm going to be careful. And you, what do I want there? I wish I could have, oh yeah, you're going vertically, right? So will you fit? Not as well as I'd like. Oops, that wasn't straight. There we go. So I do try to get them as straight as I can because postage stamps are not crooked. And I do have trouble cutting straight. I'm not the world's straightest cutter here, but anyway, there we go. So that will fit Mr. Bumblebee better. Okay, so I'm using my VersaFine pad. Now you can use any kind of ink. The reason I'm using this is because if I decide later to go back and maybe spray them with tea or something, kind of like I did with some of these, this is a permanent ink, so it won't run when it gets wet. Now what it did do was it muted down the colors a little bit. It muted the ink a little bit, so while it didn't exactly run, it did just kind of fade it out enough, so it definitely gave it that antique-y look. A little more of an old-time feel. Okay, so where's my stamp block? So we're going to put Mr. Moth on here. It's about the only time I really ever want to see a moth. Oh, and I want to put this underneath my bits. so that I have, if it runs over, it's okay. So, come here, Mr. Moth. And then I'm not getting it on my working pad. And then also, if I want to mute it, like this is a little bit of a softer look, a little bit more muted and toned down, so I can off stamp onto my page and then put him onto my fake postage stamp, and then he's not as bright against that soft background. So that I like that. I like it. Okay. Next is Mr. Monarch. I like, because he's supposed to be a monarch, I really like how he turned out over here on this kind of yellowy gold paper, because then it looks more like a monarch butterfly. But right now you're going to be not a monarch butterfly. And I can go a little bolder because that's a bolder piece of paper, bolder pattern, bolder colors back there. Hopefully I didn't get my head in the shot. There he is. Okay, let's put you back over here. Put my block down over here. Okay, Mr. Whimsical Lighthearted Bumblebee. Okay, so the next thing I did was I have a Sharpie. It's the ultrafine point. Okay, and he always needs a little start on the ink. And then I just go around and very lightly draw the edges. And again, I'm not concerned if it's perfectly straight, because first of all, I can't draw straight. And second of all, I think it lends charm. So just go around like this and add my lines. Now I'm trying to remember, I think it was Pam at Paper Outpost did something similar recently in her videos about making your own stamps, and then maybe even making like really big ones. And so originally I just had in mind to just take the squares and stick them on there with the edges, but then I got kind of carried away, so this sort of morphed from, as usual, most of my ideas morph from one thing into another. So this is where I arrived. Okay, so you can leave them like this. Let's see, you're worth 5 cents. You, I'm gonna say 2 cents, because you look like an older stamp to me. You're a little more modern, so let's say 8 cents. 8 cents for the modern stamp. This one's very modern. You're worth at least 12 cents. There we go. So you can do that. And then, if you want to give them a little bit more of the older, old-fashioned-y feel, just ink them up a bit, which I am doing with these just because I think it helps them pop from the background of the strip. And definitely on something like this that already looks a little bit older to start with, I think the ink just adds a nice touch. But I'm not going overboard because I really want the brightness of the colors to pop more than anything. So yeah, that's the beauty and the fun of just playing around and make it how you like and how you don't like, and there's no right or wrong. I have to say, junk journaling has really helped me to not be so particular in certain instances, and that it's okay to not be exact, and that the fact that I can't draw straight lines or line up my letters perfectly on a page or stamp in a straight line, it's all okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, because I decided I liked it like this better than just leaving these plain, was just to go around and give them that hand-drawn edge, because then it looks a little more like a stamp in the background when you lay them all down. So we're going to do that really quick. Getting hungry. I'm sorry in advance if my stomach growls. I am getting hungry. But I want to do this video. So there you go. You know what I could do with this is to show less of the green and more of the blues, turn it that way. Oh, genius, genius. Okay, let's keep going. Anybody knows a pretty song, you can hum a tune to fill the dead silence there. Hum a tune in the background, please. Okay, so I have that, and then there was one other thing, depending on what you want. If you want the clean look of just the stamp, that's fine, but otherwise you can go ahead and do like fake cancellation marks, like I showed on this one. I hope that's showing up for you. I left that one uncanceled, but then I canceled these three. So I think for right now, for this particular strip, I want them uncanceled, and then I'll show you on the next one how I did the cancellation marks. So what I'm using for glue, you could use a glue stick. You can also sew these on here, but I wanted to not go with the sewing because that doesn't really fit the style of this book very much. And I could go with the glue stick, but I just want it to really stick on there and not come off because it'll probably get a lot of wear being on an edge and a lot of handling. So this is one of my favorite. It's the Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue, and it doesn't make your papers warp up. Okay, so you are right here, and you want to like alternate your tilty patterns. That's a technical term, alternating your tilty patterns. Very technical. I do not have an art degree. I do not know all the technical language. This one looks kind of like an old stamp too, because I had already copy dyed the paper before I cut it up, so has a little bit more of that vintage grunge feel. Let's see, you're going that way, you're going that way, you're going, okay. You go there, and then there's that. I want you up there. You definitely need to pop. You can go there. Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna have 3 butterflies together, right? Okay, I'm digging that. I like that. And then I don't have my pinks together. I got a moth, 2 butterflies, and a bumblebee. Okay. And sorry, my hands are shaking. I'm having like a blood sugar drop. But we will craft on because there's no time for food. I need to create, and I want to make this video. Okay. Actually, I should be giving these guys a little more tilt, but it does look kind of nice juxtaposed against the back and forth zigzag of the underneath pieces if these are a little more straight. Okay. So, a little more straight, but not perfectly straight. There we go. There we go. Okay. We got example number 1. Let's see, let's bring it up here for you. There you go, example number 1. Very cool. So, okay, so I used these scissors here, the postage stamp, upside down for you. There you go, postage stamp, edge. Okay, so that's number 1. Next, let's try just the regular zigzag, okay? Like just a general pinking shear. Okay, so who wants to be next? All right, let's see, let's do you. I really like this scrap. It's very colorful. So starting with bigger ones first to kind of lay the base. Okay, and then going to smaller ones, layering those in. I just have a lot of green. One thing I've learned when I've been going through my scraps is I never need to buy green paper, ever. Almost every paper pack out there seems to come with green in it, and so I have too much green, just too darned much. So I really kind of like having the blue up and the green down. Who do I want to do next? Let's do, shall I do you big? Shall I do you large? Why not? Okay. So we're just cutting these nice big squares with my pinking shears. Oh, I forgot to trim this one. Okay, let's trim you, little buddy. All right, there's 4. All right, I like that. Now let's pick some smaller ones. Now I could even pick some that maybe I already used the stamp edge, but maybe I would prefer to have this one as a zigzag, because I do. So voila, now he's a small green stamp. And that's probably one I will stamp an image on top of, because the flower underneath is kind of nice to have something on. And let's do you. Turn you into a large pinked edge. Kind of nice up there. All my little pieces over here. Gotta have one of these guys. These are great. These are so big and bold. It's nice to. This was I remember getting these. I got these at a thrift store. So I think because you are dull, you can go on the bright, and you are bright, so you can go on the dull. How does that sound? Sounds like a plan. Except this pink on pink thing is not exciting me. And maybe you should go down here. Go here. Yeah. Okay. Go up there. Well, actually, what do I put there? You there and you there. Ah, yes. Okay, let's see. Do I want? I think I want you. I like you. You're pretty. This is a really old scrap from, I don't know, something I've had for ages. I don't remember. Where did I get you from? Ooh, that looks nice. This brings the whole thing together. Okay, and then do I want another green stamp? Okay, you're gonna be a stamp. You can be a stamp, maybe. Shall you be a stamp? You shall be a stamp. You shall be a stamp. Now, I think I need something a little bigger of all these colors. It's kind of like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Let's see, let's do, this one's nice. This one's gray. A little more, it's not a dull gray, it's a brighter gray. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm probably cutting off frame. There we go. Well, let's see. None of these are real big, but I think that'll be okay. It's gonna work. Oh, I just realized I have like tea dye or something on my pants. Whoops. Okay, so you are kind of, I liked you there. That's the thing. I like you there. I like, okay. Alrighty, let's do that. Actually, do I like you and you that way? No, I do not. Okay, so now, this time I will show you how I kind of gave it that cancellation mark. And I don't have like really fancy postal inspired stamp set. I don't. So what I do have was this basic one I got on clearance. Let's see if I have to stand up to make sure you can see it. Got that one on clearance at Michael's, I think. So those aren't super fancy, but they do the job. And I'm using the round one today because it looks more like an actual cancellation stamp. And then I had an old Stampin' Up set that's a bug set, and this was meant to be like bug tracks or something. But I looked at that today and went, you know what? I can actually use that for the cancellation lines. So that's what we're doing. So between those two, those are going to give it the cancellation lines. I'm going to sit back down. Okie dokie. Well, let's pull you back over here. You're going to be a stamp. You're going to be a stamp. You want to be vertical or horizontal? I think based on that design, I'm going to go that way. This one's going to go that way, and this one maybe that way. Okay, so, and I haven't decided if I need to do 2 of these per book or one of these per book. Okay, so first, let's see. Where's my, there we go. I want you. You're pretty. I want you to land on that. Okay, so you're gonna go there. And you are your own man. I still don't have any big enough to use that one stamp. Okay, so I think you might be the moth again. And then I'm gonna go with, I like Froggy, but he might have to be this one. He's a little Stampin' Up! Frog. What are you gonna be? You're not quite big enough. Okay, no, no. I want you to be that. I want you to be my other bumblebee, I think. Yeah. I think I do. He's not much of an image, but by the time you put the background on there, he's not very large. Maybe you should be a butterfly instead too. Maybe you should be the frog. That'll be your lily pad. That's what I'll do. Okay, you're the frog. That's technically a lily. That's a pseudo lily pad. And then that way you can be, I like these little guys. I like doing them together as a flower and a butterfly. Okay, we got a plan. I'm sorry, I'm being a little goofy. I apologize. Honestly, I'm just trying to fill the silence. So please speak up. Please fill the silence. I like you. That's such a pretty image. Maybe I should have off-stamped him first, but I don't think so. Look, he turns out so bright and crisp on this background. Ooh, that's pretty. I like it. I like it. Okay, Mr. Moth. Get in frame, Mr. Moth. Now you are going on the gray, so I think I want you crisp on the gray this time. Nice and crisp, and what I'm gonna do is, because he won't fit completely, I'm going to do him kind of offset. So it looks like we meant to do that. And then when I put my cancellation marks, I have space on this side to put those. That'll do. That'll be great. Okay, Mr. Froggy Woggy. That's cute. Close to the center as I can. Aw, you're cute. Okay. And Mr. Flower and Mr. Butterfly, and Miss Butterfly. Maybe she's Mrs. Butterfly. I don't know. There you go. You're cute too. And let's have your flower that we're flying away from. Let's do this. Here we go. Okay. So maybe USPS doesn't look exactly like this, but it'll do. Scoot up. Scoot my strip over without violating the integrity of the layout. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next, here we go. I put my stamp pad away. I wasn't ready to do that yet. I forgot. Okay, so I do kind of like to off stamp that one just so the postage mark is not as bold, because otherwise it kind of overwhelms the stamp a little bit. And then I can kind of put it, tilt it a little, kind of put it however I feel like it looks better, because as we know, sometimes the postal mark is not always where it needs to be. So there's that, and then the cancellation marks, I do the same thing. I kind of stamp them off a bit. And here. There we go. Once that, well, maybe I'll draw the lines around that first, and then I'll show you how cool it looks. Hey, come here. These things always seem to kind of dry out a little bit. And then you can add your, it's a 2-cent stamp. Seems like a lot of black on black, but once you get it inked up around the edge, see how that, see, isn't that cool? Okay, so continuing on, more postal marks. Let's see, Mr. Moth needs to be kind of muted. There we go, Mr. Moth is muted. Mr. Froggy Woggy, you might get, there we go, you need that, and you need that down there. Okay, This thing just needs to be started every time. It's weird. So that is how I am doing my cancellation marks. I think you're only worth a penny because that's all the room I have up here in the corner. So that's how I do my cancellation marks. So just look around and see what you have. And you could even draw the wavy lines, you know. Those wavy lines are nothing special, really. Okay, you are worth 4 cents. Okay, Mr. Moth is now a 4-cent stamp. Bam! And he's gonna look really cute in these books on this strip. And I really like this one too. This is just so pretty. Let's see, how many cents are you worth? Let's go with 6. And where would you have had your, let's say up here, 6 cents. There's that. So now, kind of rearranged where I sort of kind of had them before. Let's put frog up there. There we go. And now I need to draw my fake postage lines around these. I just think this little extra border just gave it some visual definition, so it really made it pop off the page. And so I don't know if you noticed in the first example, I hadn't done that yet, and I will go back and add those. I forgot to start my timer, unfortunately. I had several false starts, so I don't really know. Those will all be edited out, but I don't really know how long I've been going. Oh, oops. Okay, well, you're gonna hide under there anyway. Perfect. There we go. So really any part, like if you mess up or you just don't like quite how you drew your line, you can always hide it by the one below. Uh-oh, this one has ink on it from my inky fingers. Darn. Not gonna lie, I'm a little disturbed by it. I know there are some who wouldn't be, and I applaud you all, but I am. So we're gonna turn that so it gets covered up when I glue it all together. Okay, so there's that. Now let's do some gluing. Scoot you back over, little guy. All right, so who are the anchors? You 3 were the anchors. Okay. See, and see how this was a strip that just had a hole in it, but it doesn't matter because once we do this, it gets covered up. So let's see. Here, got that. Well, you might want a little dab. There's not a lot showing down there. Goodness. Oh, now okay, because of the way I tilted that, I can't tilt you to get to hide. There, now I can. Let's see, let's make you more portrait. There we go. See, and you have a little time to play on that. And then just put a little dab back on there. And I kind of like your yellow being up. And then you have a lot of pink and yellow. And we will, where do I have you? Okay, oh, I didn't want you right next to him. I didn't want you right next to that. Hold it. I wanted you a little bit buried. Oh yeah, and you had an oopsie. Okay, okay. You had an oopsie, you can't be next to your green counterpart. And there we go. There we go. There. Okay. Now we can glue these guys on top. So it kind of gives that look of the postage stamp without being overwhelmed, but it also uses up all these little scraps. So there you can, he's so straight you can go crooked. These, you need to cover up that oopsie, the blooper, the smudge, okay, and you're up against the green and that just really helps you pop, except you're going that way and now you need to go that way. can go that way. There we go. Oh, scooch it. Scoot you up. Scoot you up. There. There. Okay, if there's any loose ends, you can always go back and tack them down if you think that there's if there's something that needed to be tacked down. Whoops. It's gonna have to dry some more. So there's that one, and that was with the pinking shears. And now, I know I'm supposed to show you all at the end, right? But, oh well. Okay, last one. I'm gonna try it with the Deckle edge, because that's just something different. And I think this one's gonna be all muted. So let's start with muted with the Deckle edge. Muted. And then I have this little spare scrap over here. That's kind of muted. It's really not anything, so that can go underneath. Then I don't have green on green. Let's see, you can go here. Once I get these laid out, then I will trim them. Let's see, I have a couple more up here. This one looks like sky. That'd be pretty with a butterfly, wouldn't it? Ooh, yeah, okay, so you're gonna lay in there. I'm not gonna leave it that big, but, and you can go up there, and you're just plain pretty. Could pop right here. That one's kind of bright. Here, oh, I did want to use this one. Do I want to use you right there? I can. Actually, let's use this one. I kind of like that one too. Is that too much with the plaid next to the stripe? Never wear stripes with plaid. Okay, you're gonna be a stamp, a stamp, a stamp. And maybe another little stamp. Here, yeah, let's do that. Hey, yeah. Actually, I could move you down a bit. Yeah. No, too happy, too whimsical. Okay. I'm going to throw that in there just as an option. I don't know that I'm going to do that one, but we'll see. Oh, there's a plain brown one. I could do that one. Okay, you guys go back in the pile, back in the pond. Okay. So, let's cut with the Deckle edge. See what kind of prettiness we get. And then this one, because it's a little more muted and a little more mellow, he's going to be, you know what I should do is put it on this strip. Not that it matters because it's getting covered up, but it sets the tone. Okay. Ah, this is my problem with Deckle. Can't cut straight. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Ugh. Okay, wow, that's really not straight. Look at that. Look at that in the square. Whoopsie doodle. Well, I can maybe do that up a wee bit more, and this a wee bit, and that a wee bit. That's a lot of wee bits. Okay. The nice thing about the plaids is you have some guidelines to cut along. It seems to me that these scissors have never cut 100% straight anyway. Like just the way the Deckle looks, it's never, come here. The Deckle is never straight the way it lines up when you cut it out. I don't know why that is, but it is. Okay, so I can follow these little polka dots. All right, you. My little pile there. I don't work well with a mess all over my desk. Ooh, here's one we could maybe slide in there. That's a little muted. Oh, I haven't even actually used any of these, but they're not deckled. This little extra pile that I had over here, I'll use them on some of the future ones. That's okay. You sit over there. Okay, so getting my base layer figured out. Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, now I can do my big butterfly. Okay, yes, 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 yes. You, what are you gonna be? I don't have a lot of choices for different whimsical things. You are gonna be another butterfly. Maybe you'll be this guy, flying free. And what are you gonna be? I have this one that's an actual stamp. It says hand stamped, and it's a butterfly. I was putting it on the back of all my cards and things I was making. I used that one. It's kind of, it's not going to work on that. I don't think. I don't think it'll stand out enough on there, unfortunately. You're cute though, I like you. Frog is not in the right spirit. I don't know. What am I going to put on there? Butterfly, butterfly, bee. Oh, maybe we'll just do one of these. Let's do New York. Yeah, let's do that. Then when I stamp him, he'll look stamped. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's lay you guys down really quick. Oh wait, I wanted to draw on you. Oh wait, I wonder if I should do them in brown. There's an idea. Let's do them in brown. Come here, guys. Boink. You could be underneath. Then I could cover up my oopsie doodle. There we go. Covering up the oopsie doodles. Here. Oh no, you have to go that way because you have writing. There's a definite up and down when it comes to writing. Okay, and trick is I don't want these to poke up too much beyond the end of the strip because that means that they will be poking up over the edge of the page and the top of the book, whatever the book will be. Well, I know what the book will be. The book will be this. So we still want it to be kind of protected by the edge of the book as much as possible. I'm going to stamp first and deckle second. Mr. Bumblebee. And yeah, I think that deckle edge does just as well in giving the impression of a, not literally impression, but the idea or the feeling of a stamp edge, of a perforated edge. How do I want you? I wanted you down there, but then I don't want you guys right together. Okay, all right, now I need to go around and make my pretty lines and pretend postage. Let's see, how much are you worth, Happy Butterfly? 6 cents. There we go, 6 cents. I don't know, you don't have a place. 2 cents. Like on my stamp over there that's tiny. 2 cents. And I don't need to draw lines around him because he's already got lines. There's this one. Okay, ooh, I want to ink these. I'm gonna need that, especially this one. It just needs that visual, you know, to stop the visual line. So it'll stand out a little more. If I really wanted to go grungy, I would spray them with the tea, but again, these books are not really that style, so I don't want to grunge them up too much, but I do want them to look a little bit like stamps, and I want them to stand out from the strip a little bit. Okay, so now, do I want cancellation lines? Do I only want to cancel a couple of them? What do I want to do? Cancellation lines on that guy. Maybe I should do the cancellation lines in brown. Oh, there's an idea. Let's get rid of the black first. Oh, I should have off-stamped that on one of these guys. I bet I can't now. You probably don't have any ink left in you. Do you? I got a teensy bit. Very light. Use my arm. Okay, so I'll do cancellation marks in brown on you. How's that? Busy, but it looks like a stamp. So, okay, well then maybe I'll try to redo these cancellation marks and stamp off the brown. Ooh, that worked. Ooh, that looks nice. All right, I guess it doesn't matter if I go brown to black, but black to brown, it's tricky. In case any of you are wondering, yes, I am a person who cleans my stamps. So I hope you're not disappointed. I'm going to just kind of go off a little bit on him. And then you're going to be up here because that's where the postmaster ran you through. Okay, and then I still want you. The other way. And so you're going to have a crisp, clean image up there. Get up there. You are there. See? That looked cool. And you have a little bit less crisp, clean image with the tilt. Let's tilt you that way. What's D? D England. What's that mean? Help me if you're from England and you're watching. What is the D for? Okay, and see how that one? Very muted, very light. Sometimes you'd get a double cancel mark. There we go. D England. 46. D. I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. And I watch a lot of PBS and Netflix and PBS and Hulu and PBS. Okay, let's glue these guys on here. Oh yeah, look at that. You've got such a lovely background. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so these guys are all deckled up. So I'm gonna go straight with you, I think. Everybody's gonna be a little more straight because the background layers are more cattywampus. Good old word meaning, I don't know, is that a southern word? Cattywampus? My dad used it a lot. Meaning crooked or wonky. Okay, so here's Mr. Deckle edge strip. Yeah, so I will just lay these down here so you can see. Here's the ones we just did. Aren't these neato? Nifty. Whoop, that one's not in frame. I'll scoot over, guys. So there's those three. So that was with the postage stamp edge. This one was with the regular pinking shear, but you could use a mini pinking shear. This is with the Deckle, and I still think it gives it enough of a postage stamp edge. And then the two that I did before, there's the mini, is that, maybe that was a postage. Yeah, that's still a postage stamp edge, and that one's a postage stamp edge. All right, so today I'm coming with a couple of little fun things to remember from God's little instruction book. A shut mouth gathers no foot. Look, and the proverb that goes with it, he that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. In other words, open mouth, insert foot. Do not open mouth, your foot remains attached to the ground, I guess. Second one, your windows are words to your your words are windows to your heart. For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. Matthew 12:34b. So there are 2 proverbs, 2 little words of wisdom that you can take with you today. So thank you for spending time with me today. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, please give me a thumbs up and share me with all of your friends. We're trying to grow this channel and we're trying to have fun together. Please remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, to subscribe. That puts me in your feed when I upload new stuff. And if you ring the notification bell, then that alerts you to every time that I have something new as soon as I post it. So that's pretty cool. Until next time, I would like you to be inspired and do something creative today. Thanks. See you in the next video.